So I'm going to start here with the Marblehead Rotary Club as an example, simply because this is what a club would see. I didn't want to log in with my district credentials because then I would be looking at the district website, but it's more important for you to see what the club
Alexander, I asked just so everybody knows, I asked Alexander to do this because I got a call from within my own club, and it's a young person, and she's pretty savvy. And because ClubRunner is constantly updating, she couldn't figure out how to find some stuff. And so if she's having this problem, I figured other clubs will be, and sooner rather than later, they will be reaching out to you for assistance. So that's why I asked Alexander to do this and to show us, so that in case you haven't been in ClubRunner, you can see the latest iteration that is ClubRunner. And it's on the inside when you're going into the member login. Sorry, Alex.
Exactly. No, that's a very good point for reference, and so that everybody knows why we're doing this. And I can't cover all of ClubRunner, obviously. Otherwise, we would be sitting here until midnight. But I will cover sort of the most important questions that I also keep getting from clubs when they reach out to me. So the first question that many people have is, where do I find the ClubRunner administrative interface? And it's very simple. You just go to the club's homepage and then click on member login in the top right corner. That will pop up with a login screen. And if you want, you can say, keep me logged in. And when you do that, you need to log in with an admin user for that particular club. So you as assistant governor, unfortunately, don't automatically get editing rights to the clubs that are in your AG group. So you need to sit down with either a public image person or the club president, and hopefully they will have the right access rights when they do their login. And once you log in the club's website, there's this button member area here. And when you click that, you get to the ClubRunner administrative interface. Initially, this starts out with just the member page that every single club person can see. Usually, this is the member page that they will see. So it has a little bit of a nice touchy-feely pastel-colored look where you can look at your member activity and view club documents, etc., etc. People who have editing rights can go here to the left and see the site administrator page, and they will also see the admin classic page. So let's first look at the site administrator page. It's again the touchy-feely colorful page that has all these options where you can now look at club attendance reports, you can look at event planning, you can look at communications. Or if you don't like this touchy-feely interface, you can go to the classic interface. And some of us who have worked with ClubRunner a lot longer see this here and know where the stuff is. And so that's why I usually go to the classic interface. But for people who are new to ClubRunner, they can stay in the beautiful touchy-feely interface. The functions there are the same. So I want to show you a few things that I get questions about all the time. One question that comes up all the time is, where do I enter the club information on who the president-elects are and who are all the other club officers? And you find that here under Edit Executives and Directors. It's in the Membership Manager under Edit Executives and Directors. When you click this button here, you get the list of club executives and directors for the current year. So it always starts out in the current Rotary year. And then you have buttons for next year and previous year on top by which you can navigate. So when you have a president-elect being voted in by a club, that's when they would go to the president-elect line and say edit, and then pick a president-elect. So in the Marblehead Rotary Club, I only see 2 Marblehead members online right now, David Deutsch and Arthur Schwartz. Which one of you wants to be president-elect?
Nice try.
We'll make you Arthur.
Again.
We'll make you for this demonstration be president-elect, right?
So you'll have to pay for my divorce.
So we've got President-elect Arthur Schwartz, and this is what Terry mentioned at the beginning. This does not automatically carry forward. One would think that the system is clever enough to know that President-elect this year means President next year. But when I go to next year here, you will find that for next year's president, we have no information. So you need to enter the same person twice. You need to enter them as president-elect for the current year and then as president for the next year. I'm not going to do that because otherwise Arthur will bill me for his divorce. So we're going to go instead here to President-elect Arthur and hit clear so that he's removed from this obligation. You've been voted off the island again. But this is where you enter your President-elect and all your other functions. And you have to do it separately for every year. So this is for the current year in the Marblehead Rotary Club. And for next year, you have to enter all of these positions again to have people in the right place in the directory. There's this crazy button carry over next year that usually is disabled. But if you go far enough into the future, this button actually becomes enabled. And it's when you have a year where you have no positions. So for 23-24, there's no positions. Therefore, in the 22-23 year, there's this carryover button. But all this does is it carries over the positions, the empty positions that your club has. Doesn't carry over any people. So just so you know what this does. So that's the function of club executives and directors. I'm going to go back to the admin interface and tell you the second most important question that people ask me all the time. And that is, where can I change my club information, the meeting place, the meeting hours, whether or not it's online or not. And that is very cleverly hidden up here in the menu. It's under Club Info and Settings. So if you are in the admin tab and then go to Club Info and Settings, that is where you get to enter the meeting information. So in our case, it's Thursdays at 12:15 at the Boston Yacht Club. That's mostly correct, except for January. And you have the club details over here with the contact information of a mailing address, the website link, and any email, phone, or fax number you want to publish. So that's a question that I get all the time from people.
Question, Alex, why does
Yes.
it say you're chartered August 2nd, 2007?
Because probably somebody entered that information wrong. Long before my time. So let's go in here and pick the right year. We happen to know that.
1923.
Exactly. Doesn't let me enter that. That's funny. I have to actually override it by hand. It was what, April 20 something.
It's on your front page, wasn't it?
I thought it was. Let's do that. Let's go to marbleheadrotary.com. Did we have it on the front page? No, I don't think so. Maybe we have it on our about page. Nope. We have it on our letterhead. That much I know. Help me out, David and Arthur. Where's my former past presidents?
What can't you seem to find?
5/11/23.
The charter date, 5/11/23?
Yeah, that's from a past directory.
1923. Okay, save. Thank you. So that's fixed now. May 11, 1923. Anyway, so this is the club information page. And all of the changes that we make here, for example, the meeting schedule and everything automatically reflects here on the top of the homepage. So that's where that information draws from. And the next question I get all the time is, where can I make changes to the homepage? And the home page changes can be found here on the website. And then the interesting question is, what do you want to change on the homepage? Do you want to change the menu structures on the homepage, or you want to change the design of the homepage, or do you want to change content on the homepage? And depending on what your answer is, you either on the website want to go to website designer or website content. On the website designer, there is a very easy way to change the top menu, and that's here where it says edit menu. When you click on that, this is the list of your main menu items. And then if you have sub-menus, they're indented underneath. So for example, on our top page, for scholarships, we also have main scholarship information and then also Marbles Got Talent for our performing arts scholarships information. All the other menus are direct menus. And these menus typically go to a page on our website. So if you wanted to add a new menu item just for testing, we would click add new menu item. We can call it test. And then we can say this goes to a custom page on our website, or it goes to a particular event, or it can go to a photo album. Those are all the options you have. Let's just cancel that, because I don't want to actually mess it up. But this is where you change the menu on the homepage. If you don't want to make menu changes, but rather want to make content changes, you go to website content. And this is where you find homepage stories. Those are all the stories that appear on your homepage. It's called the stories widget, and it's typically the center column of your homepage. In our case, we have information about our president first, then our commitment to DEI, and then where it says Marblehead Rotary Club News, those are all the stories that appear on our homepage. And to create a new story is very easy. You just say create new story. And this time I'm actually going to do a story. We're going to say test. The author is going to be me. We want to show the author and the date. And then the story brief is just going to be some image that we're going to embed. We can go to browse server, which you can see. Give me a second. I'll come back right away from that.
Alexander, what language is that? That wasn't German, was it?
What?
Oh, and did anyone else see that?
Yes.
The coding.
Yeah, there's some funky stuff happening. But in any case, I'm just inserting a little image that we have in our library here. And I'm going to say Arthur and DW. And then text. And once I'm happy with my story, I just hit save. And then I can say display this on the home page and also on the story list page. And I hit confirm, and that's it. This is now the first story on the home page. And I can also reorder these by just grabbing them here if I want to. So if I go to the home page now and hit refresh, there's our first test story right above all the others, which is why I'm going to
Delete it.
remove it.
Yeah.
Because we really want our Marblehead's Got Talent story on top. There we go. Marblehead's Got Talent is back on top. So that's how you edit stories on the homepage. And those are sort of the most important questions I get. Some Rotary clubs also say, well, our design of the website is too old. If you want to change the actual design of the website, you would go to this area that says new website beta, and then homepage designer. And this is where you can now pick different themes that are available. So currently this is the way our homepage looks like, but I can go to themes and can say, I really want this to be in the Vision Next Gen theme. Well, that didn't make that much of a difference. How about mid-century? Okay, now it's all brown on top. That's the mid-century look. Or you can go to community. Now it has a little bit of gray. And then you can look at it on different platforms. You can look at it on a tablet. You can look at it on a mobile device. And then when you're done with all your changes, you can hit publish. I am definitely not going to hit publish. Instead, I'm going to say go back because I don't want to change our website design. And also,
Alexander, another question that I get quite frequently is people wanting to, you know, when somebody comes in new, they don't have any access to they have minimal access. And so as people, you know, become public image chair or whatever, clubs want to give them more access.
Yep.
And they don't know how to do that anymore.
Good question. So that is something that you find under the membership. And so when you go to member lists and look at all the members in your club, I'm going to just pick David because I like to pick on him and click on the member's name. There is this settings tab under the member profile information. And the settings tab is where you give people club access levels.
Okay.
And so you hit edit here and the club access levels that exist are in a pop-up menu and it starts at 90, no access. That's somebody if you want to block them. 80 would be restricted member. The default that the system uses for everybody when they get a new member account because they join a Rotary Club is 70, that's member. 60 would be anybody on the club's public image committee. They can just post stories on the website, but not do much more. 50 is anybody on the board of directors, any club executive. 40 is the president, and 30 is the site administration, which is somebody who has full access to all admin functions of ClubRunner.
Can more than one person be site administrator?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
And so you definitely want, typically, you want your president to be site admin. Once you pick a president-elect, you want to make them site admin so they can start having that function for next year. And you typically want the person on your public image committee that has the most technical skills to also have site administrator access. That might be the public image chair, or it might be somebody else, but you want somebody who really can be trusted not to delete everything before you give them site admin access, because there's really no security after you're site admin. You can do anything you want to. You can delete members, you can delete the whole website, you can do, as I said, anything you want. So this should be a trusted person.
What about the club secretary? Because they do a lot of, you know, input and things on that. Wouldn't you want to make them?
No, I think the club executive role is sufficient for the secretary. As far as I know, on the club executive role, you have membership database editing access. You can enter new members and remove other members when they no longer are with the club. I think that should be sufficient. Site admin really means I'm going to change the website design and change the club address and do anything, right? It's really full power. In Unix systems, it's called a super user or root user. It's not for the faint of heart.
Alexander, this is
Yes.
also, so everybody knows, this is also the screen where you can go in and change people can change their username and change their
Correct.
Their password, because a lot of clubs set those up when you join, and you want to go back in and change this and personalize it so that you can get in and out of ClubRunner yourself.
Yep. I'm gonna cancel that. Those are sort of the most pressing questions that I've been getting from people over the years. Is there anything else that comes to mind, Terry, that we should cover?
Maybe just to add a new member in.
Okay, we can do that. So to add a new member, you go to membership again, and then you can start at the member list level or the dashboard level. It doesn't matter. Let's start at the member list level. And when you add a new member, the first question you should always ask is this an existing Rotarian that's transferring from somewhere else? If not, if they really have never been a Rotarian before, the right function to use is add new member. If they have been a previous member of another club, what you should use is transfer new member. We'll start with transfer new member as an example. When I click on transfer new member, I get the information fields where I can either search for them by Rotary ID, by email, or by name and country. So let's do that. I'm gonna see if I can transfer Peter Majane to the Marblehead Rotary Club. Let's say Peter Majane, and you are not from Austria. No, you are from the United States. Search. And this will show me immediately, and this is really useful information, what Peter's Rotary ID is, and that he's a current member of the North Reading Club and a past member of the Somerville Club. And I also get this warning immediately, this member is already an active member. If I click on add member, it's gonna ask me 3 more times if I really am sure I want to transfer that person. If you get such a warning, you should really contact the other Rotary Club and ask them if they are willing to relinquish that member. And that member should really be marked in the database as a past member at the old club before you transfer them in. But this is the way to transfer a person over. Even if they have not been a Rotarian for 3 or 4 years, they will come up in the search because this goes against the entire RI database. So I can, for example, go in here and search for a friend of mine in Austria, right? Whoops. Missing a T here. And he is in Austria. And he's a member of the District 1910 First Austrian Passport Club. And he lives in Weiz, Austria. So this really goes against the full RI database. So even if you don't have the Rotary ID, just by the full name and the country, you can find anybody, as well as with the email address. So that's for transferring members. If you instead really are sure it's a new member, then what you would do is you would go back to the member list and say add new member. And this is where you now have to enter their name, address, and a lot of other information. So now we get to the point of where we can pick a sponsor. So maybe this is somebody who David has sponsored. And this is going to be Jane Doe, female. And then you have to provide obviously at least one address. There will also be a ClubRunner account automatically created, a temporary password automatically created, and an email sent to the person that says, here's the information about your account. And you want to make sure that this box here is checked, report this new member to Rotary International. If you don't do that, the member will only be added to ClubRunner and not to the RI database, and our account will be off. And in this case, I'm going to actually not click add member, but rather go back to the member list. So that's how you add new members or transfer new members.
May I ask a question?
Of course, that's why we are here.
Yeah, so, some of our members are, they are not active members, but they are now honorary members.
Yep.
So should we inform RI for the honorary members, or that stays at the club level? Because
no, you should inform them. So if I change membership type here to honorary, you should still inform RI.
Okay.
They will want to have a track record of that person. And the reason is that if that person makes a donation to the Rotary Foundation, we want to know that we have a Rotary ID that we can associate with that person, even if they're not active.
Okay. All right. So honorary member, if they are not paid member, but they do donate towards the RI or foundation, so they can still qualify for the Paul Harris points or something like that, or not?
That's correct, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Question. So an AG, you would be an honorary member, but a do not report this, right?
Yes. So this is a very good question. Some clubs enter their assistant governor as an honorary member into ClubRunner so that they get automatically notified on emails. It's a bit of a tricky thing, right? It completely upsets the counts and the mailing system. So I would recommend against doing that, actually. It's much better if you have a database of additional people in your communications module that you want to send information to, and just select that box whenever you do a mailing, rather than to make your AG an honorary member of the club.
What does that mean, honorary? Like I have 3 clubs, for example, so I can be an honorary member to them, but I remain the paid member
yeah, you should ideally not be added to their database as an honorary member, because it increases our membership count.
Yeah,
it just makes everything very confusing when you look at the database, and it also results in you having multiple accounts within ClubRunner.
Right.
So it becomes real messy really fast,
yeah,
which is why I would not recommend it. I would rather say you ask the club to simply add them to their database of newsletter recipients that they email in addition to their members. And what I mean by that is I can show you that in the communications module, right? So if I go into the communications module to email services, and then I say I'm going to compose a new message to my membership. So this is maybe our weekly newsletter, right? So what I would typically do is for a weekly newsletter, I would send it to all active and honorary members of the club. And then you can have here custom distribution lists or contact groups where you can have, for example, a group called Bulletin Subscribers, where there's 6 people that also want to get your weekly newsletter every single week. And all you do is you just add that checkbox in addition to active and honorary members. Or you could put them under other users. For example, we have our Interact Club in here. So you can structure this anywhere you want, either on the custom distribution list of the contact groups or on the other users. But it's better to have your AG here in the communications module added as a separate email address rather than making them an honorary member. I'm gonna not save that as a draft, but also exit.
So we can customize like 6 members or something instead of the whole group if we want to.
Absolutely, yep. Yeah, it's saved it as a draft. Delete.
And I can say that I get emails from many clubs, their weekly newsletter and stuff. And if they all made me an honorary member of their club, it would wreak havoc on the system.
47 cents.
Yep. Any more questions? Any other topic we should cover?
We can only send out the email. We cannot receive, right? There is no inbox for that from ClubRunner.
There is no inbox now. ClubRunner does not have an inbox system.
Mm-hmm.
It's send only, and then the sender is going to be the email address of the person who actually clicks on the submit button when you send the email. And so all replies will come to their personal email address.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that was wonderful. Thank you, Alex. And hopefully I won't be stepping over the line here. Any questions after the meeting, please reach out to Alex or Terry.
Yeah, of course.
Because the more you know, the more valuable you are to your clubs and your own clubs, actually.